Welcome to The Dream Journal. From the studios of KSQD in Santa Cruz, The Dream Journal is a weekly show where we explore the power of nighttime dreams through conversations with dream experts and with listeners like you. A dream can be meaningful even if you don't know what it means. And today's ambient music is called Deep Blue Flow, a tribute to Rick's recently deceased and beloved pug. Safe travels, Biscuit. Light, truth, and direct experience. Today we talk about angel healing with local poet, author, and mystic, Dorrie D'Angelo. I am your host, Catherine Bell of Experiential Dreamwork, and welcome to The Dream Journal. Festival of Dreams tickets are now on sale at festivalofdreams.net. Click the Get Tickets link to go to Eventbrite, where you'll find about many more details about this IASD regional conference. October 10th through 12th, right here at the Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History. Early bird discounts are available through September 10th. Plus, bring a friend and save. So check us out at festivalofdreams.net. I do want to share my dream this morning, a dream that really spoke to me and is kind of with me right now, which is just a simple moment of sitting on a bench, and there's a bush like next to me to my right, and looking, it's kind of a thin bush, but looking through it, there's a man on the other side, and he's looking at me with this love and warmth in his eyes, and I just feel loved and loving and connected, even though we're screened by this bush. Maybe it's a little safer if there's a distance, I don't know, but just having that feeling of love and connection. Just this simple moment is so wonderful to recognize that I am capable of this feeling and I can let that in. So, basking in that moment. So, Dorrie D'Angelo, I am delighted, is here with me in the studio. Local person and public radio, or not public radio, sad PBS, but community radio enthusiast and KSQD supporter. Dorrie, thanks so much for being here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
And I think your dream even is such a lead-in, this sort of unseen way that grace can still touch our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Even when it's screened off like that. So let me read a little bit of an introduction, and then we'll get right to poetry. I see that Dorrie has a poem out ready to begin. But let me start with letting you know who Dorrie is. Dorrie D'Angelo is a healer and a poet and an angel scribe. She was adopted by Dorrie D'Angelo, the Angel Lady of Carmel, in 1983. Dorrie is a published poet and international speaker. She received the words from angels in humility, knowing them as blessings to be shared. Dorrie lives on the Central California coast, and she has a book, Connect with Your Angels, a guide for everyone. It's out of print, but I actually saw you can get used copies of it around.
Yes.
Connect with Your Angels, a guide for everyone. So, Dorrie, receiving the words from the angels in humility. I love that. Always. So, would you like to start us off with a poem?
Well, yes.
Or what's on your mind?
Well, because the Connect with Your Angels is out of print, I was moved to put together a small book of my favorite of my poems, and I just finished publishing it. And so I am reading some of those poems from this chapbook. Mm-hmm. Prayer before a reading or speaking. Bless the shimmer. Bless the holy shimmer. Bless the eyes that see. Bless the very thought of light that infills you and me. I am a creature devoted to light. It's what I care about and what I follow. I trace its entry in my life. I mark it at the beginning of knowing. I feel the movement of light as my guidance in returning home. Seeing the world encircled in light gives my heart peace. Seeing each person also filled with light is the truth I know. How light-filled this room becomes, even as we speak, as the words fly out, filling the benevolent air. Let them loosen strands of soul memory, freeing up the splendid images inside. Let yourself be touched and deepened by this coming together word by word. Some say holy light, I say daily light. Grace and blessing is falling all around, lovely and luminous, all-pervading, ever-increasing light.
That radiance. I really feel that radiance. Oh my goodness. So let's talk about angels. Let's start a talk about, like, what is your experience with angels? I mean,
well, I always saw things and I didn't know what they were.
mm-hmm.
And I was brought up in a Jewish family, so angels were not anything that was ever mentioned. But in my, when I was 35, through a series of very bizarre and awful and terrible kinds of things, I heard about Dorrie D'Angelo. And even though I didn't know anything, I called her up and made an appointment to see her.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walked up to her door and she stood at the door, I walked into her heart. Moving the story along fast, she took me in, and we had a couple of years together. She was 81 and I was 35. And we were made of the same stuff. And so even as we would walk, her wisdom would come into me, and my strength and youth and vitality would flow into her. And so we had these 2 years where we did everything together, including the sessions that she did. And she wanted me to be part of everything. And every day she showed me what a life of living with angels looks like. And so when you see somebody who just lives talking to the angels and calling them in and sending them, and you don't doubt. You have the truth of it right in front of you. And that has only grown in my life. Things have changed over the years in how we communicate and the kinds of sessions I do as I've gotten older, and different things have changed. But the truth of their unwavering love is it's ever present. It's always true. I have never known the angels to fail. And I can say that with such a strength of purpose, really, because that's my experience. I can't prove anything to anyone, and that's not my job. I only can speak about my experience, which is that my life has been entirely enhanced inside, in my cells, in my bones, in my organs, and in my heart, and in my brain, and in my seeing. So now it's just, now that I'm almost as old as Dorrie was when I met her, it feels right for me to be this sort of elder rippling out this lovely truth of life that everybody has access to.
Right. And this is something I want to talk about as well, about the idea of vibrant elderhood. Like this kind of radiance that you really have. To see you in person, to be with you here, is just is just an amazing thing that you got from Dorrie. I mean, you really modeled that Dorrie D'Angelo was a vibrant elder as well. And so this is, I don't know, is this tied up with angels? Is this something only available to people who see angels, or can we?
Well, I think this is part of what humans are evolving into.
Yeah.
But I know that it comes from a heart that's open, and it does seem as if the heart opens by being cracked open.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe for other people it's different, but I had so many terrible and horrible and breaking and all kinds of things, but I only got stronger by them. And so I feel now my heart is radiant. And the fact that you can see that,
Yes.
even though we're on the radio, what I suspect
Yes.
is this it's a frequency. And so, yes, the eyes can pick it up, but I think maybe the audience's ears and hearts can pick up some of this frequency of rippling out radiance, which is part of who we really are in some kind of an intrinsic, natural way before we got shut down. So I'm not shut down anymore.
Right.
And I can walk around representing wide openness in a certain humble, vulnerable, but empowered way.
Right. So I first met you, so to speak, when you called into the radio show in February. It's many months now, and you shared a dream, which was powerful, and I just resonated immediately with you, and I'm like, ooh, let's talk some more. And we talked, and I'm like, I want to get you on the show because you got something pretty amazing here. And just this radiance just came right through from that conversation on those many months ago. And so what do you recommend to people to come into this radiance? Because we all know people who get cynical and bitter as they get older, and nobody wants to be that person. Like, I want to be claiming myself and willing to be myself and embracing myself. And what is it that has helped you?
Well, fortunately, I had a long history of meditation. I was Maharishi's editor for many years in the ashram in Switzerland, and so I have a very strong ability to have a focus. But having a focus and then loosening it allows your mind to be very aware of what you're thinking. So I don't really let my mind go into the toilet.
Right.
It's much easier to say, oh, thank you, angels, for your help right now. I need you right now. Please help me right now. And something happens. Some flow comes in, or a song comes on the radio, or you know how it is when synchronicities start lining up, and you learn how to pay attention. Oh, that's a yes. I'm going to go there and not go there. And again, I'm old enough to not have to care what anybody else thinks anymore somehow. Me following these beautiful, shining guidances really every day, in every way, in a certain kind of way, allows me to be this big, wide open vessel.
To following the guidances. It makes me think of this character in my dream, and I wasn't really thinking of the topic of the show when I selected my dream to share this morning, but that guy was kind of an angel, did you think?
Well, I think that the angels can help humans be your helpers. I mean, there's a lot of ways that it happens. Whether that person was a real person or a waif, or it doesn't. The mind doesn't have to understand. None of this stuff is linear. So the fact that you had it and you let yourself receive it, and you didn't say, "Oh, what's this?" You said, "Oh, thank you for shining on me. I feel your love." That yes, that sort of, in a certain way, you're always starting to say yes to things. And the more you say yes to the light, the more the light fills you.
Okay, right.
And
I love it.
I guess love and light and angels are more the same. It doesn't have to be so this or this or this anymore.
Love and light and angels. I love that. Oh, looks like you have another poem for us, Jenny.
Well, there's one poem in this book that has a little dreaminess to it, so I thought I might read it.
Perfect.
What calls you? Who works in the darkness? Who drums within the dark to make new soil out of dead tree limbs and crumbled fallen leaves? While we humans sleep, a universe of humming goes on. Worms and nightingales, shooting stars, a bright moon. All these things and more keep on their making while we slumber and dream. Then I wonder if within our dreams the sucking and pulsing earth informs us of an ever-present, ever-gracious presence, a field of energy in which we all reside and grow. So when a green plant shows up with its deep roots in a dream, it may be your own soul, your deep soul that reaches down, giving nourishment from the beyond. From the before and the afterward, you can expand the now, measure by measure. And when another morning dawns, what bright thing calls you forward again? What keeps you going? Is it the deepening darkness that moves you, or is it the growing light?
Is it the growing light that moves you? Following, that's what you were talking about, following those guidance that nudges, those moving toward the light. And I do think that the tree in the dream is definitely a soul. Your soul, the dreamer's soul. That's how I look at the dreams, the dream figures. These are the different parts of me, the parts of my soul, parts of my deepest self. Yeah.
And once you really get that you're sort of graced to even have a life, and especially now in these wild times, all of that stupid garbage poison thought is just useless. But this, let me be here as fully and wildly and openly as I can, so I can help in the increasing light, the increasing frequency, the increasing coherence that we all know we are building together.
Right. I mean, I've often said that the spiritual work that we do, our individual spiritual work, is the most important activism that we can possibly do in the world. And I really believe that, and it's that this is something about raising the water level for all souls on the planet, and like by you embracing your radiant elderhood, that you can be a yes, you can be a model for all of us who are aging as gracefully as we can, right? And like there's not, life doesn't end after your 40s. Like there is
life doesn't end at all.
Thank you for that.
I know that. I have had so many. It happens for me a lot that when somebody passes, I mean, somebody that I know, for instance, I see them for the next little bit of their journey, and the sort of grace that takes them in, and how they make their first steps as they're moving, and how it is. And it's always been really helpful for the family members to hear some of this, because their anguish can be so lessened, knowing how much life goes on.
And is this some of the work that you do in the sessions that you do with people, is contacting ancestors and beloved deceased?
Not specifically or necessarily, but what I do, and I will say I do I do sessions on Zoom. I don't do them in person anymore. But when you call in the whole team of unseen helpers, then sometimes the ancestors come in, sometimes a lineage of teachers come in. And what's interesting is because our field, myself and the client and all of our helpers together, makes the field so vibrant that the person feels things and sees things and receives things themselves. It's not me saying it only, it's them saying, I see it, I understand it, I see that I am part of this grace and that my life has great value.
Okay. And so I'm going to come back to angels because, like, what is? You talked about seeing. What do I see? Like, do I need to see an angel to be influenced by it? It seems like
not at all.
No.
In fact, for most people, they actually don't want to see.
Oh, wow.
I mean, if an angel just stood at your bed tonight, most people would be freaked out.
Maybe that's why I need that bush to
they
screen me from the angel.
Exactly. But actually, most people would be freaked out. They say, "Oh, I want to see," but they actually. So just some little thing, the way a white feather falls down, or the way you see, a heart-shaped rock right when you are walking. There are hundreds of ways that they nudge us and tickle us and encourage us to see them. And I don't even have to use the word them anymore. It's even like a field. The field of all the angels together is a field of grace that is part of the architecture of the universe. That's how Andrew Harvey says it. They're part of the architecture of the universe. And we, in our many incarnations, have sort of fabricated them as people with wings and blonde hair and who knows what. And that helps people feel possibly close. That helps if it helps, but that's not. They allow themselves to be seen in ways that we will not be afraid of. So a beautiful radiant figure comes, or a bush that's fluttering. I love that you said that. But once you know, that's the angels coming to visit me. That's how I feel when or a fragrance of rose that comes around you, or some soft silk moves across your leg, but there's nothing in the room. It's always gentle. It's always unafraid. It doesn't introduce fear in you. It introduces, I want to go. I'm going to follow that. Whatever it is, let me. That's the big and the tiny yes that you say all the time, and your life just gets better. You can. Dorrie used to say it in the simple way: just talk to your angel for 7 days, as if it's your best friend, and say things and reveal your heart, and let what come into you. She says, in 7 days, you will have some knowing, some proof that means something to you, that you have made a connection, and this is the beginning of a lifelong love. Your angel is... I'm getting into Rumi a little bit, and I don't mean to, but the way the beloved, this angel loves you.
Yeah.
You know what? Like when a mother has her new baby and her eyes are so overflowing with love, that's how your angel looks at you. That's my person. I love that person with every fiber of my being, and let me help this person in every way I can. If only she would ask for help, I'm right there.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. So Jenny, how about one more poem before we go to our break? Oh my goodness.
I have a good one. This is one of my really favorite poems. This is the title poem of my chapbook. saved. Because I have been saved so many times.
Mm-hmm.
This is the poem. And you'll see how it's very, very, very accessible words, but it still takes you.
Mm-hmm.
Saved. I see it when I prepare food, chopping vegetables or pouring out grains of rice. I see how I watch the pieces that get left out or the grains that fall away from the pot. I always pick them up, taking the extra effort to wash them again if they've landed on the floor or the countertop. I put them back in the pan or the soup, and always I think of the biblical story. The great Lord God talking about who will live and who will die in Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham asks, "If I can find 50 righteous people, will you destroy the whole city?" Then, finally, coming down to, what about one good person? Will you destroy the whole place if I can find one good soul? I always think of that and save the grain of rice, saying this one has come so far, grown with all the others, come finally to my kitchen in my hand, and now I have dropped it. So I rescue the one grain or bean, thinking always, if someone saw me, I would also be rescued. And then I am reminded who I truly am. I am the cook, I am the water, I am the pot, I am the bean, finally seen and savored.
Saved and savored. Wow, the one. Thank you, Jenny. This is really amazing. So Jenny D'Angelo is our guest today, and we are talking about poetry and angels and radiant aging. And I can't wait to ask you about your trip to Europe, where you just got back from a poetry reading in Europe, which I'm excited to ask you about after the break. And so Jenny D'Angelo, great to have you here, and there's more to come. We are broadcast live from the KSQD studios in Santa Cruz and co-broadcast live in San Jose by KCXU and podcast everywhere. So we will be right back. You are listening to The Dream Journal. My name is Catherine Bell of Experiential Dreamwork. I'd like to send a special welcome to our far-flung listeners. We have beautiful Santa Cruz, Dublin, California, Alamo, Fresno, Seattle, Washington. Hello to Allentown, Pennsylvania, Quebec, Canada, Revere, Massachusetts, and Rugby, Warwickshire, and Great Britain. So glad to have you on the show. We are a truly international audience today, as we so often are, and it's just to show that people all over the world are interested in their dreams. And if you would like to help us nudge the algorithm to spread interest in dreaming, please follow the Dream Journal on your favorite podcast app. You're also welcome to follow Experiential Dreamwork on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And if you're inspired, you can leave the podcast a rating or a review. But really, the most important thing is to get people talking about dreams. I encourage you to talk to your friends about this particular podcast if you'd like to start a conversation about dreaming. You know, this is all about getting people to talk about dreaming and to appreciate these gifts in their lives. So also contact me if you'd like to be a guest on the show to talk about a new book or to let folks know about your dream-related offerings. I love to lift up fellow dreamies. So as I mentioned at the top of the hour, you can now buy tickets for our local in-person dream conference at the beautiful Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History. The Festival of Dreams will be held October 10th through 12th. The webpage for that is festivalofdreams.net. Also, if you are in the Boston area, September 26 and 27, please consider another IASD regional event near Boston in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. I'll be leading a workshop about my treasure hunt approach to dreaming, plus I will be singing some of my own original dream songs. So you can check out that at the ASD webpage, asdreams.org/regionals. Okay, today's guest is local poet and friend of the Angels, Dorrie D'Angelo, and we are delighted to have you on the show, Jenny.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying your poetry and this idea of really invoking the angels really feels like it brings them present here in the room. And
I love that you can feel that.
Yeah, for sure. It's so true. This team of unseen helpers, as you describe them. So I was curious that you were recently in Europe, and you her poetry reading, among other things, I understand.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I have a cousin, my wonderful cousin Julien, lives in Rouen in Normandy. Mm-hmm. And there's an English-speaking bookshop there, the ABC bookshop. And they were, when Julien gave them some of my poems, they were happy to have me as a speaker there. It's the only English-speaking bookshop in all of Normandy. Oh, at least that section. And the people were, English was not their first language. Maybe it was their second or third language. And it's a great leap to then be willing to actually listen to poetry in another language. But I feel that these poems, they're simple words, but they still take you. Mm-hmm. And so it was very thrilling for me to be reading to that audience and watch them just open and soften. And that in a way, I have to say this, my speaking English wasn't even really a big deal, mm-hmm. if you know what I mean. You could feel them being in the field of grace that was invoked. Mm-hmm. And as it happens, this bookshop is directly across the street from the biggest abbey of Saint-Ouen here in Rouen. It's the tallest of all the many, 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 many spires. Oh, wow. And so I could look out of the window as I was speaking and see just the edge of this enormous building and all the intricate architecture. But really, if I'm going to speak about Rouen, it has to be how overwhelmed I was by all of the Jeanne d'Arc. That's where she was burned. And the place where she was burned is like right there. You can sit on the grass there, and it's the same pebbles and everything. And her church is this wild snake of a gorgeous church that, afterwards, that was made by shipbuilders.
In her honor, right? In honor of Jeanne d'Arc.
Yeah. And there are plaques everywhere, and there are statues everywhere, and everyone, and the dungeon and the doorway to the dungeon is enough to just, I just wept, and I didn't even know I was open to that. It's so real, and that's, she was burned in 1431.
1431,
and
really.
You sit there and you it's so powerful, and the sense of now, I'm just saying to you as we're talking, the sense of all the young women in the world waking up to the truth of who they are. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be one wild truth-speaking girl. It can be the many. There's something that's happening, and it was moving in me by me being in Rouen at that time.
So do you think you see something in the young women of the world right now?
Yes.
What is it you see?
Waking up.
Oh, wow. That was great. May it be so. Yeah. We're ready.
From inside. It's not a conscious thing. It's an internal erupting of light, but gentle enough so that they follow. I had a lot of deep images while I was in Rouen, and so I'm not Joan. I'm not trying to be Joan, but some of that truth that she walked and burned for, I can live and not burn out talking. It's the same God voice.
Right. I'm really struck that we're talking about these young women like Joan d'Arc and the women of the world now, and yet we're also talking about the elderhood. And I don't know if you like the word crone, but there's like we reclaim the power of that.
Yes.
The elder.
Yes.
Elder women.
Well, just as we're saying it, I'm realizing that those two ends are the part of women that is not about child rearing.
True. Yes.
And so it's sort of like honoring the soul of women aside from the what would used to be the main. I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh, well, yeah. It used to be that's what women were all about, was childbirth.
But now
the
the purity of the young soul and then the wisdom of the old one. Just imagine if that purity could stay alive in a woman all through her life. And maybe that's what we can have.
Okay. Oh, we have a caller. Thank you. Thank you for that, Jenny. So we have a caller, Ray from Santa Cruz.
Hello, Catherine, and hello, Jenny.
Yeah. Hi, Ray.
This is a pretty intriguing show. I've been thinking about angels my whole life, right? And my mother wrote a poem about when she saw when she was warned, basically, that her husband was going to pass, and a lot of little things like that have gone on in my life. But anyway, I wanted to...
Well, hang on, Ray. You can't just jump over that. Well, or maybe you can, but I had to let that sink in for a second.
But that's how it is for people, and I'm glad that you're brave enough to call up and say that out loud like that. That's the truth of it. That was her truth. She shared it with you in a way that you totally got it, and now, however many years it is now later, now you're coming on the air to talk about it. That's so great.
Right.
Well, I think one thing is about coming on the air. I think that I just had maybe, I don't know if Catherine thought about this in her dream she shared this morning or not, but that bush is like, you're behind the control panel in the studio, and we are all out here looking through that bush, sending our love to you. 'Cause I'm sure I speak for a lot of others that we love you, Catherine.
Oh,
you do
Ray, thank you.
Service to us all.
Oh my goodness, Ray! I got a big aha about that because I'm sitting here in the studio and we have like a forest of microphones. We have wires everywhere, and so it is kind of like looking through a bush to see anybody else here in the room, and never mind to see my listeners. My goodness, it's just that's a bush for sure. And yet there's a lot of love. I can really feel like the presence of the angels and the warmth that comes through. And Ray, you are so sweet to say that. I appreciate hearing from you.
Well. I do appreciate you, and like I said, I'm sure I'm not alone. I hear what you say. You get listeners from around the world, basically.
Yep, we do.
We're tuning in because you provide something that we appreciate. So, thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
And I really love that, Jenny, that poem you said too, where you compared yourself to that grain of rice. Being seen and savored, and I mean that kind of rung true with me because we are all these little grains of rice, 8 billion up, and it'd be nice if we all realize that we can be seen and savored.
Perfect. What a great thing to take away. Thank you, Ray.
Yeah. And are you going to, do you have contact information we'll be able to get at the end of the show?
Yes. The contact information that was listed on the promo, well,
I didn't give out the email address because I don't give out emails on promos, but we'll definitely give it out here because, we have to.
Sure. I'm sorry I didn't think of a cleverer one when I was making up my thing. So it's just D'Angelo Jenny 25 @gmail.com.
D'Angelo
Denny25@gmail.com.
Yes, contact me, and these chapbooks are ready to fly into your arms.
Okay.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you so much for being there.
All right. Thanks for calling, Ray.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Yeah, that's sweet. He's called to share some love.
But see, that means that it's actually rippling out.
Yeah.
This intangible, unseen frequency is happening in a room that's like filled with metal and wires and everything. But I think the frequency, we're electromagnetic beings, and so we're actually making this room coherent and harmonious by how well we're all flowing together.
Just by looking for those nudges. Like, I loved how you described those little angel signs that you don't necessarily have to see full-blown wings and harps or things like that. Wings and swords, if you like.
And you don't even have to tell anybody. You can just quietly be adding up, oh, there. And so until you build up your own confidence about your own receiving, your own connections, like, oh, she's talking to me again. Oh, thank you. And then you can begin to feel authentic in your own, oh, thank you, my angel. It's so sweet when I feel you. And when you left me that note on the doorpost, or that line of poetry came into my mind. And so then, for me, that's the dialogue that just is going on all the time.
And then do you turn towards those things?
Yes. It's like I said, the big and the tiny yes.
Yeah.
It's a big yes, but each one is a yes.
Right. Each one is a yes.
And also, just by being in the yes mode, you're not in the no mode. You know what I mean?
You're not in the no mode, and you're in the yes mode. Yes. Right. And so there's something about that, being in the yes. And yet there are times when I've learned that sometimes saying no to something else is a way of saying yes to something, you know what I'm saying?
That's a much deeper layer, but that's true.
Right, because I can say yes to so many things, I get overwhelmed, and then I've got too much happening, and that's not honoring myself either, or the angels. So yes.
So you just said, well, then you follow the big yes. You follow the bigger yes.
Oh, thank you, the big yes.
Is this... And it ends up not being from here. I'm pointing to my brain. I have a good brain, but it's not from here that this is happening. It's from my heart and my, you have a big truthometer that's just on, and you just know if it's BS or truth.
Right. Okay.
And you have a whole life to tune that, and then when you have it, you know you're not fooled.
Okay.
Mostly. I still have fooling still happens.
Well, yeah, that's okay. But we're, progress, not perfection. And we are,
yes,
then that's part of moving on, letting it go. Like, okay, that one didn't work. Try another one.
But you always have the sense of, I have the sense that I'm fully in my life. I'm not in my decline or decrepitude or anything. And I love that I can live that and be the embodiment of a white-haired, wild woman.
Yes. the radiant crone. I love it.
It's so good. But it's really a trip that it's this buzzy in this room.
Isn't it? Yes.
It's
okay.
Really, it's confidence building, that this thing called energy and rippling and authentic movement of truth out in ripples is something that happens, and here we are having it.
Right, tuning into it, being aware of it, because it happens in many places, but we don't always but tuning into that is kind of our choice. It sounds like. Yes. That's it. So how about another poem?
Okay. Well, this is a nice one for here.
Okay.
Wondrous courage, diving deep. I surrender right here, down into a core of peace. Like a clear stream, it moves, but is always itself. And like that, I move through the world, conglomeration of old habits and new roads, a bundle of vain strivings and pure release. I know my soul by its excitement. It's pushing up through me so that I must express it. Old images of faces around an ancient fire, elders revered, wisdom carried out from the hidden basement of awareness into the valley of wild abandon. I had thought abandonment was no longer the problem. Now I see we have all been abandoned by the elders, the waters, the four-leggeds, the trees. And yet we are all continually saved by them. Wisdom is available in this dance. One step, one clap, one heartbeat. To this I surrender. I remember, I forget, I surrender. I remember, I forget, I surrender. This is how to grow in peace and kindness.
Wow. It's a real mantra. I remember, I forget, I surrender. So like you were saying, we don't always turn into the right thing. Sometimes we still get fooled. But that's okay. We can surrender, move on.
And for me, the sense that I really have help all the time makes me much more willing to step on different ground in a way.
Step on different ground. Say more about that.
Well, I'm laughing because just as I said that, I was seeing my feet. I went with my cousin to a place called Fécamp on the edge of Normandy, and I swam in the English Channel.
Oh.
But the beach is these big flint boulders. They're big boulders, and you have to have like special shoes to walk on them, and I happen to have them. But the way it was to like walk on these slippery, big, bumpily boulders to get down and then to go into the channel and to swim was just amazing. It was so, the sea, I mean, I live by the Pacific, but somehow this was so, the sea, and it was so salty, and it wasn't too cold. I mean, I had my rash guard on, and my cousin was there, but just to be swimming, even the little bit that I swam in the sea. I am a swimmer, but this was outrageous.
A special experience. So was there like I'm curious, like were there different kind of presence? Because you said you're right here by the Pacific, but is there a different kind of a presence,
the sea was completely different. I mean, it's a different sea. It's made up of all different kinds of whatever. It was much thicker somehow.
Well, salty. You said it was extra salty.
Very salty. I mean, the way the waves were coming. I mean, I don't go in the ocean here in Santa Cruz, but the bigness of the ocean, the sea-ness of it was just thrilling me. And I have a lot of friends that sort of hopped along my shoulders to be in the sea with me, and I felt all of us sort of getting washed by this wild sea.
Oh yeah, those unseen helpers,
and friends too. I mean, a lot of people were able to secretly travel in my pocket with me so that they could have a bit of the sand and a bit of Fécamp and a bit of the sea and the Jean part moved a lot of people too. So I'm happy that I'm strong enough to be the kind of vessel that I am now.
Right, so that's that strength that you have, and you get to feel that strength, because the sea can be very rough, and yet you were strong. You felt supported. Yes, you're very.
It's exciting even just to think about it now. Still,
I see that. Oh, I love that. So Jenny, so much vibrance. I love this. So much radiance. So we've already given out the email address, and I'll give it out again so the people who are just tuning in can get in touch with us. D'Angelo, Jenny.
It's just you have to say D'Angelo.
D'Angelo. Okay,
it's
all one word in the
this
way it's written
email
down.
Thing.
D'Angelo Jenny 25 at gmail.com.
I'm sorry for the ordinariness of that.
That's, we all have our I've got one of those too, those Gmail addresses. But there's you do have a website, but you say you can't get access to it anymore, even though there's a lot of really interesting things on it.
It's a WordPress blog that I did for a lot of years, and the messages are gorgeous and timeless, but I can't get into it anymore. And if there were to be a technology angel out there who wants to help me find a way, then we could find a way to work something out.
Would you write more blogs? Would you post poetry on it? What would you do?
Well, I'm thinking that reviving it or doing something with it. I mean, I have to update the things, and I can't.
Right. So it's wordpress.angelsinlight.com.
Right.
Is that right? Okay, well.
I mean, people can go there and read. The messages are gorgeous.
They are.
I mean, at the time, they felt very relevant, but now, and they have dates on them, and yet they're just gorgeous anytime you open to one. And so I didn't know what to do, but just leave it there.
Okay.
Somebody out there will know and have just the right amount of support for me to know how to move next on this.
Could be.
Thank you, angels, for bringing the right person or people.
Excellent. And I will post that webpage and also the video of you talking to Andrew Harvey on the episode page, so you can look for that. And is there anything else that you want to share before we have to say goodbye?
I want people to really know that help is always available. And it used to be, and like even in the video, Andrew says, well, how can you believe that you could be worthy of such help? That's not the thing. It's nothing to do with worthy. The angels are looking of you because you're their person and they love you. And if you don't let them in, then like Dorrie used to say, they're just all in the unemployment line.
Oh, no.
So talk and ask and let yourself receive in the way that you receive. Don't try to be like anybody else. You and your angel and your whole troop, if you would open to it. I have like a way big team, of course. I do. Yeah. But let them be part of your life and watch your life be sweeter and better and truer, no matter what goes on the screens outside. This is where the important growth is now.
Love that. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Jenny D'Angelo, it is a real pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. So thank you all for listening. The Dream Journal is produced at the studios of KSQD in Santa Cruz. We are live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific at ksqd.org. The podcast is released on the Monday after the show. It spreads interest in dreaming when you subscribe, rate, and review. I am Catherine Bell. You can find out about my dream coaching practice at experientialdreamwork.com. You can email me at catherine@ksqd.org, KATHERINE. Follow Experiential Dreamwork and hashtag the Dream Journal on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to keep up with the shows. I'd like to thank Rick Cleffel, engineer and music creator, audio editing by Suki Wessling, phones by Tony Russimano, and intro and outro pieces are both by Mood Science. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, take a minute to write down your dream and bring it to the next Dream Journal.